Hey everybody, it's time now for a long overdue mailbag. I want to thank a couple of people in the vinyl community for their generosity and sending me records, of course. So um, I am very, very busy as of lately. The last video I posted, I think I posted a video maybe about a week ago, and I actually recorded a couple days before this one. I recorded this video I'm about to do. I've already recorded it once. This morning I was talking to Memphis Vinyl Jim, and he had asked me if I got a package that he sent me. And I think I've had it for about a week or so, and I just I made a video, and then I got something else, and then I was like, well, I won't post that. I'll wait. So here it is. I'm posting it now. I got, again, three upstanding citizens in the vinyl community. Of course, their channel links will all be down in the description. Some of them I'm sure you've seen. Definitely go out and check their videos if it's the first time you're hearing their name. So the first person I want to thank is Stevie, and he goes by Stevie JU. He's lives in the UK basically, and he showed some records probably a couple of weeks ago. Now it's probably the middle of January, and it wasn't the ideal circumstances for getting records by any means, but was showing him and said he really didn't listen to them, and was thinking of maybe trading them or giving them away in a contest. So I saw a couple and I was like, oh, let me know what you want and I'll trade with you. And he said, just what do you want, and I'll send you a couple. So I chose a few, and he upped the ante a little bit for me, which was definitely nice. So again, Stevie, go check out his channel if you've never heard of him before. Definitely treading on ground that is not too common here in the vinyl community. Definitely likes a lot of sort of trance music. Definitely turning me on to some good stuff. So I've definitely been, jotting down a few things here and there. So definitely go check them out. But anyhow, so this is kind of what caught my eye in the first place. And people talk about Beatles or Stones, man. I'm a Stones man myself. I like the Beatles, but the Stones really kind of taught me how to play. When I first was kind of learning how to play guitar, I was really listening to the first Stones album, like maybe their first 5 albums or so, before they did anything psychedelic at all. Probably up to about Aftermath or so. But their early stuff, like when I was in a band, we used to cover Last Time, and I played the lead part on it, and I loved playing that song. And so Stones are a big favorite of mine. But this is 5x5, which is their second EP. Came out on Decca Records, I think in 1964. This is kind of for the American and the North American folks. This was pretty much changed into 12x5. They had added some more songs at that point, and definitely a fantastic album. But If You Need Me, Empty Heart, 2120 South Michigan Avenue, Confessing Blues, and Around and Around. This is sort of when they kind of, after I believe their first tour to the United States, they sort of went and recorded some stuff at Chess Studios, and I believe that's where some of these have kind of come out of. So sort of right around the Rolling Stones Now and 12x5, or 12x5, sort of where this sort of falls, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But there you have it. Also was Got Live If You Want It, which of course was a long player here in the States. I believe of when this came out, most of the songs that were redone were kind of like Satisfaction, and more so the kind of the U.S. singles, which were tossed on to the the Americanized version of it, I guess you could say. But which is definitely, some awesome stuff. I love listening to this stuff, even though it's fake. They have the screaming crowd in the background. It's just fantastic stuff. Just a great testament to the times. This one, Donovan, Universal Soldier. Sam is a huge Donovan fan, so when I showed her this, she, you know, jaw was on the floor. So really awesome stuff. Another band that is just phenomenal. The Walker Brothers. This one's "I Need You." Um, the sun ain't gonna shine anymore. I think it's probably the greatest, the greatest song of all time today. If you would ask me what song it is today, it's probably gonna be something different tomorrow. But just an awesome group. Scott Walker, man, his albums are fantastic, and kind of did reverse of what if you really don't know who the Walker Brothers are, really, they were pretty much a U.S. band. I think the one guy was actually in the Standells. I want to say. I think he played drums for the Standells. They were sort of came to the UK and were bigger in the UK, I think, than they were in the United States. Especially Scott Walker. I mean, I don't think he even his albums were. nobody really listened to Scott Walker's solo albums. The Walker Brothers, I would say, were kind of had minor hits, but not like they did in the UK. And last but not least, Teddy kind of turned me onto this, and I'm so again, Stevie, I'm so just thankful for this. This is just totally awesome. I'm glad to add this to my collection. But this is actually how the Magical Mystery Tour was released in the UK. It was as an EP, double EP. So it just kind of shows you, the Beatles were pushing boundaries even then. I mean, I think I was reading online that this, at the time when this came out, this was equivalent to probably about $12 today. So if you could imagine, if you got to kind of keep your money kind of, you spend it wisely. $12 for something even back then was, quite a bit of scratch. So definitely an awesome thing. And then he tossed this into, I saw the back of it, and I almost thought it was, like Song for Jeffrey is probably like one of my favorites, Jethro Tull songs of all time. But I saw the back, and I knew it wasn't the A side, so I flipped it over. And it was Living in the Past, which is still, an awesome Jethro Tull song. But I saw this and I was like, oh my God. I thought, and he didn't tell me he was going to send this one, so I was definitely excited about this. I love the early Jethro Tull. Kind of their first two albums are definitely some good stuff. So next up, we have some stuff from Memphis Vinyl Jim. So this first one is one by the Letterman, which... Jim, you have this weird way of sort of like, I would definitely not buy this if I was out buying records, but since you sent it to me, I'm definitely going to give it a spin because, I mean, it's, Jimmy Haskell, the orchestration. So, he did a lot of stuff on all those sort of those late 50s kind of artists and all that. So I have another one by the Letterman. It's sort of a later one, so definitely excited to listen to this. Really haven't had a chance to listen to that one yet. This one I did, Hudson and Landry. This is sort of a comedy album. There's a sticker on here. It includes the hit single Ajax Liquor Store, which is just hilarious. And then there's also one on here called Top 40 DJs, which is kind of like if two top 40 DJs met each other in the street, and it's like, how you doing? Solid gold. How the, you got to listen to it. But great album. Thank you there. There's this one, Ian Whitcomb. You turn me on. This is on the Tower label. Anytime I see stuff on the Tower label, man, I go for it. It doesn't really matter. They put out some sketchy stuff, but usually, Davey Allen and the Arrows, all those exploitation, psychedelic, biker movies, those were all released on Tower. Of course, Max Frost and the Troopers, Standells were on Tower. I even want to say the Chocolate Watch Band were on Tower as well too. But a great label. So usually there's some pretty quality stuff if you like the kind of the '60s garage rock kind of stuff. So great stuff there. And then last but not least, he sent me. This is the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. So basically in my backyard, but. Again, I would probably not buy this, but it's the local stuff. I guess maybe I would go for it. If I was in Memphis and I saw this, I would probably do this. The taste of home, I guess. But really cool stuff. Symphonic music, it has actually really, I really have no place for it. I really had to make a new thing. This is kind of the first classical album that I own. No joke, it is. So that was definitely some cool stuff. So thank you, Jim. So cheers, you guys. And last but not least, Super Wes sent me 10 titles on the Folk Legacy label. Very excited. Thank you, Wes, for definitely looking out for me. Anybody else? Again, I'm trying to get all the albums on the Folk Legacy. I'm up to 21. Just talking to Tony the other day, and also Mike, Bostonian Reggie. They are going to hook me up with a few titles, and then I also have about another 10 titles that are coming that I got from another source. So, and I still have a pretty big score lined up, but hopefully if everything goes through. So we'll see. I'm sure Blake will tell you too. So anyhow, just going over these real briefly. I will kind of explain them a little bit more in detail when the time comes. Sandy and Carolyn Patton. This is actually Sandy and Carolyn were actually the owners of Folk Legacy. Carolyn still is. I had the pleasure of talking to her on the phone a few times. So really cool stuff. Kind of like an Ian and Sylvia, I guess, is kind of the best way to sort of describe that. This is sort of the... they put out 3 albums like this. It was called The Golden Ring, which was sort of kind of a super group, if you will, of folk singers. Most of them that were on, the Folk Legacy label, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's, when you think about it, that's something that's pretty neat. But then they released this Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is the new Golden Ring, which again, you got a whole slew of musicians that are on the Folk Legacy label. Really cool stuff. I'm very thankful for these ones. So, and I think I mentioned it. I don't know if I did or not, but I'm sort of digitizing a lot of my vinyl. I do apologize if I said that at the beginning of this video. I got so much stuff going on. I don't know what I said at the beginning and not. But I've been listening to a lot more music, and at work now I can listen to it at work, which is fantastic. So, that's the whole neither here nor there. That's a whole other story. But anyhow, so I've been digitizing a lot of my LPs, just so I can kind of listen to them, because like the Folk Legacy ones, it's hard. Like when I'm kind of trying to think about something to write up, and really my only time to listen to them is when I'm home, and it just how it is. So anyhow, here's another one. Tony Irene Sailton. It looks like she got an auto harp and a banjo. Haven't even a chance to put this one on quite yet. Number 37. This will probably be, in how I'm doing this, this will be the 5th one that I will be reviewing. So, and then we have, I might as well show these ones here right now. I got 3 by Gordon Bach. Gordon Bach, of course, has kind of put out quite a few albums on the Folk Legacy label. I think almost about 10, I want to say, in one form. Actually, not think about more than that. Maybe closer to 12 or 15. This is just a huge package. It's like in one of those boxes. It's only 1 record, but this is the best part about them. Is this? It's just it's pretty much it's the story and everything, but it's for 1 LP. So a lot of work put into these, I think, which is one of the reasons why I really latched onto this label so quickly, because it's definitely cool stuff. And from what people were finding them, I know even like Tony and Wes, I mean, you guys are finding them at great prices. I mean, it's sort of like, it seems like that's sort of like the going price. And Tony even asked me, he's like, is this something I'm going to regret sending you these records and all that? And I mean, I don't know. They're good stuff. I mean, it's if you're into folk music, it's what it's all about. Another one, I don't know how to pronounce this. Seal Dirgel's Hymn. That's how it is. It's about a seal. So, really cool. Gordon Bach, Bay of Fundy. I think this one is all in... I'm not sure offhand. One of these I was reading, and I don't remember which one it was, but, oh, here it is. A Rogues Gallery of Songs for 12-string, and he just basically talked about doing a whole entire album just playing with the 12-string guitar, which is, kind of a feat in itself. It's just kind of it's a weird concept to have just a 12-string guitar. It's definitely something when you're accompanying another music, or another musical instrument, or, anything like that, but just doing a single album on 12-string guitar is kind of, an interesting kind of concept. So, Bob Zentz, Bowcatcher Farewell. I think he plays dulcimer on this, I want to say. Really cool stuff. And last but not least, and this one I've just been, actually the record's not even here, I've been listening to it like crazy. Frank Prophet, the Memorial album. Frank Prophet was the first artist that they recorded. So really cool stuff, kind of banjo, man. It's in a way, it's a little bit of a depressing album, but there's just some great tracks on it. Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Just, you know, the songs you've heard before. Got No Sugar Baby Now, Man of Constant Sorrow. And it's hard to say whether, I mean, some of these are originals basically, but man, just very, very emotional music. So just great, great stuff. So that's it. 16 minutes. Thank you for everybody for watching and all that. And, you know, thanks for everybody that had sent me records. And we'll see you on down the trail. So take care.